Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your June 2020 horoscope for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I do recommend this for your rising sign, but for those of you who have Taurus, Sun, or Moon, you may resonate with this as well. So first of all, we are here in this major time of this nodal shift that took place at the beginning of May, where we have the North Node in Gemini now and the South Node in Sagittarius. And so the North Node is sitting in your second house with the South Node in your eighth house. And so big changes karmically going on in finances for you, Taurus. That is a major shift that you have probably felt already here with finances, with security, with values, with self-worth. There are major karmic stories and lessons happening here in this nodal axis dealing with your wealth and finances. Also, we have Venus retrograde that has been going on here in your second house as well, where this has been a big time of looking at the things that bring you pleasure, that bring you joy, that bring you this sense of security and stability in your life. And so also Venus lighting up this house dealing with your values and security, Taurus. So a lot that is going on here in terms of new ways of building better security and finance in your life for many of you. Also, some of you dealing with self-worth, self-esteem, with your values, and doing work and improvement and adjustment in this area, where this Venus retrograde has really been a big time of looking at how can you love yourself, how can you build up this self-worth, this self-esteem. And so coming into June here, we starting off with this Venus retrograde cazimi happening on June 3rd. And so here on June 3rd, Venus is meeting up in the inferior conjunction with the Sun. And this is the Sun burning out Venus. This is a complete blackout. We are not able to see Venus in this space. As Venus is completely invisible, this is going to be a burnout of all of these things that no longer serve you, and especially for you, Taurus, as this is going to be in your second house. And so all material possessions, all values, all forms of security that no longer serve you, that are no longer of value to you, this is majorly going to change in your life. And this is a big time for clearing out and cleaning out all of these old attachments in your life. Also moving forward here, we have a lunar eclipse, a penumbral lunar eclipse happening here in Sagittarius. So this full moon starting us off in an eclipse season. And this is a very different eclipse season, as we're not starting this off with a solar eclipse in Gemini. And so this is going to be a 3-part eclipse happening here from June into July. And so starting off here with this full moon penumbral lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, this is happening in your 8th house, where this is a major release point of these old feelings and attachments to your possessions, to your finance, to your security. And especially when we are talking about the security of others, right? This is happening in your 8th house, where this can be a big area dealing with your finances and possessions and gains through others. And so big time of really letting go of these old attachments and connections. For some of you, there are intimate connections that you are letting go of and releasing here. And for a lot of you, this is a big moment of internal transformation. And so for those of you who have been holding on to this idea that you can connect to the physical without working on the spiritual or the emotional, this is a big time where actually this is a major release in your old feelings and attachments. And so first working through the deeper, darker depths of your soul before you can come into this space of benefiting in the physical. So major transformation that is going on for your wealth and security strongly here for you, Taurus. Now, moving forward on the 18th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Cancer. So this is a Mercury retrograde in your third house. Very tricky, as Mercury is the original ruler of the third house. And so this can be a very big time where there are issues with communication, with expressing your feelings, right? And for many of you with Taurus rising, this Cancer in your third house is already making you very sentimental, very emotional, very reserved in terms of your communication style. And so this is a big time of really going over, looking at your feelings, your attachments in terms of how you are communicating. Are you coming from an emotional reaction of these sentimental values and attachments in your life? And so big time to really look over and make adjustments in terms of your communication style, your thought process, your ideas, and also strongly connected to your finances. So for those of you who are working, those of you who are building up money, there could be a slight pause here in terms of bringing in finances and security into your life. So this is a big time to really take the time to look over the way that you're thinking and communicating in terms of bringing these materials into your life. Now, moving forward, we have the Sun also entering here into your third house. This is the Sun entering into Cancer, where this is a shift of the seasons. And so we're moving out of this space, Taurus, where this has been a lot about values and security and your stability in your life. And now this is moving into this space where communication is needed, where a new way of thinking is needed to bring in your security and finances. So a lot that is changing here in terms of what you need to rethink, what you need to communicate and express in terms of really building this new form of security. And especially for you, Taurus, as you have Uranus in your second house. In your first house. And this Uranus energy is not going to go away, right? For a very long time here. So we have this shift that is going on in your identity, in your experience, in the way that you are presenting yourself. Very radical time, very different time of really changing things up. For many of you, very similar to what we said for Cancer earlier, where many of you can be really changing up your look, your style. There can be a lot of doing things very differently and very unconventionally in this space. And so for many of you, you are already feeling very rebellious, very different here in 2020. But the big thing here is that you want to change the way that you are thinking, changing the way that you are learning, changing the way that you're communicating in terms of your security and finance. So big shifts that are happening here in this area. Now, also, we have a new moon solar eclipse. So this is the second part of this eclipse that is also going to be happening here in your third house. And so this is bringing in a new way of thinking, a new way of learning, a new way of communicating. And for many of you, there can be new news coming in, new information coming in terms of your environment, in terms of your finances, in terms of what is going on here around you when it comes to bringing in business and security into your life. And especially many of you can get news here about new ways of bringing in security. And so for many of you, this could be a big time of a new job, of a new opportunity that is coming into your life. And so keeping an eye out here for any new opportunities, any new experiences that are happening, that are opening up to you, Taurus, is very beneficial here coming into June. And really, even though we are here in the middle of a Mercury retrograde, this is still a great time for you to take on a new job, a new opportunity that comes your way. Because remember that we're in the middle of this eclipse season where really this Mercury retrograde is one that is here to help you really take the time to think things out, to review things, and to rearrange things in your life in terms of your thinking and learning and communicating. But really, the big thing here is these eclipses affecting the way that you bring in security into your life. And with this sun and this new moon solar eclipse happening here with this Mercury retrograde, very different vibe that we are having going on here. And keeping in mind that this solar eclipse is going to be in a conjunction with the North Node that is in your second house. And so this is where a lot of security, a lot of opportunities, a lot of new jobs, a lot of new income can really start to come into your life. Next, we have on the 23rd of June, Neptune stationing retrograde. So this is Neptune, which has been sitting here in your 11th house for a very, very long time here. This Neptune in Pisces. But now Neptune is at those last degrees of Pisces, where this energy is much more chaotic, much more getting into the escapism and reckless behaviors and destructive choices here, as this is getting into the Mars-Pluto area of Pisces. So this is a very interesting Neptune that we have going on in your 11th house, where this is really strongly a point of confusion and really these fears connected to achievement and your goals long term, as well as your influences from your friends and your community. So there's a lot here in terms of, are you using this Neptune energy in your 11th house to create this magical experience of achieving goals and opportunities in your life? Or is this a negative influence that is happening from this Neptune going on in your 11th house? And this will be a big time here with Neptune retrograde to review your friend circles, to review your goals, to make sure that everything is in alignment with reality, with the reality that you want to create and experience here in your life. And so if there's any doubts, any confusion, any worries, any fears that are connected here to your long-term success, this is a big time to really take a look at this area and really make sure that you are removing these blocks in your life, because this is a big time where you can bring in a lot of new financial security, a lot of benefits, a lot of wealth into your life. Now, the next thing for you, Taurus, is happening on the 25th of June, where Venus will station direct in your second house. So this is finally the end of this Venus retrograde, and Venus is starting to come to a stop where it will move into direct motion. And so as Venus is moving direct here in your second house, once again, big time of bringing in wealth and security into your life. So big time of making money, big time of creating new forms of security, new values, new income, right? A lot of benefits that can come from this. And especially because of this North Node that is happening in your second house, right? So destiny is pulling you into the direction of building new security, building a new foundation for yourself, building up new values, new morals, and new finance. So a lot that you can gain here, Taurus. But again, this is a big moment of overcoming your blocks and your fears related to what you can accomplish and achieve. Last thing we have happening here is on the 27th of June, and this is going to be Mars in your 12th house. And so with Mars being in your 12th house, this can be a big time of repressed anger, repressed frustration, a lot of this lack of energy and drive to get the things done in your life. And so this is a big time, Taurus, where if you are feeling tired, if you are feeling sluggish, unmotivated, this is a big time to really take some time to relax and to meditate, to do some deep introspection and work within yourself to see where these blocks, where this frustration is coming from. And so that is the horoscope as far as the astrology goes. I also pulled some cards here as well. I pulled from the Black Moon Astrology deck as well as the Connolly Tarot deck. But big time I want to say for you, Taurus, to really address your fears and blocks, because there is a lot that you can achieve and accomplish here in terms of bringing in wealth and security. And so big time where you don't want to miss out on your opportunity. First card we have here is Aries in reverse. And so again, this Mars energy happening back in your 12th house that we're seeing here at the end of June is really bringing out this repressed anger, this repressed frustration, this lack of energy and motivation. And so this is a big time where you want to once again look within yourself and see where the blocks are, see where you need to work on to gain that motivation and energy and drive to move forward. So for some of you, big time of really relaxing and going inward and addressing these inner conflicts that are going on here. And especially with your next cards being Neptune and the Moon, where this is a cycle that you are going through that really requires you to delve within your feelings, to really take that time out to relax and to realize that you're going through a pattern, you're going through a cycle, and this will come to an end. And so big time of really resting, reviewing, looking over where the frustrations and blocks are in your life, Taurus, so that you can start to move forward. So a lot that you are attracting and building in your life if you are able to remove the blocks and fears and frustrations and doubts that are going on here in your 12th house. Next card here is the 11th house. And going along with that, we have Mercury, both in reverse. And so once again, we talked about how this Mercury retrograde is going on in your 3rd house of communication, of thinking, of learning. And so there's a lot here that is frustrating in terms of this block when it comes to communicating your ideas, when it comes to learning something new, when it comes to a new opportunity. And so this is an area where we need to work on removing this block and obstacle out of your way. And this Mercury retrograde giving you a great time to review and work on this area in your life. And of course, also with Neptune being up in your 11th house, where we had this square between Mercury and Neptune. It's very interesting that we have this Neptune energy that came up. And now we're talking about your 11th house, and we're talking about this Mercury energy, right? So those squares, very, very difficult for you in terms of communicating, expressing your ideas, getting your goals met, making these connections, right? These two houses dealing with connection, communication, networking. And so a lot of challenges and obstacles here in terms of getting your ideas across and networking with the right people to bring in this finance and security for many of you here with Taurus rising. So a lot of obstacles here to overcome in terms of your way of thinking and communicating so that you can get to the outcome that you are seeking. And remembering that the North Node is where your 2nd house is. So this is where this discomfort is going on here, where normally those of you with Taurus rising would be feeling very much secure in this area, as you know how to speak, how to make the connections to bring in the finance and security that you are looking for naturally as a 2nd house Gemini. But with this North Node in here, this is a new experience that this is pulling you into. A new opportunity in terms of communicating and networking and connecting to pull in these values and security into your life. But once again, we have to let go of the past. We have to let go of these attachments, these intense feelings of needing to control and to hold on to the old with this South Node going on in your 8th house. And so with Taurus here in reverse, it is a big time of letting go of your old attachments, letting go of your old sense of stability and welcoming in a new form of stability into your life. And this goes along with this 6th house in reverse, where it's time to shake up your routines. It's time to do something different here to bring in a new form of security into your life. And so really changing up the way that you are approaching your finance and security is really going to help you bring in a new stream of wealth and income into your life. And so big story here, Taurus, about money, 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 but you must do the change and the work in order to make this your reality. Next card we have here is the solar eclipse in reverse, but many of you are fearing or holding back from this change, from this new experience, right? So this is a solar eclipse that is happening in your 3rd house in conjunction to the North Node happening in your 2nd house. So new opportunity for you to make money, for you to bring in income and security into your life. But remember with a solar eclipse that this is the blackout of the sun, where you can't see the outcome, you can't see where you're going. But this is a call for you to make that change, to take that risk, to go for that new experience and opportunity to once again bring in this source of income. And so for those of you who have this new job coming up, who have this new opportunity coming up, who have this new idea to start something new that is coming up, take it. Take this new opportunity, take this new experience on, so that you can build up this new sense of security in your life that is here for you. And next card here, part of fortune, right? So once again, going along with this, wealth, income, increase. Big time for good fortune and increase to come into your life, Taurus. So the big question is, are you going to open yourself up to having that? To having that wealth, to having that security, to having that abundance to enter into your life. Last card here from the Black Moon Astrology deck is Leo. So you must be willing to do the work to get this. You must be willing to open yourself up to the experience. You must be willing to enjoy yourself, to express yourself, to get to this outcome that you are looking for. But this is your time, Taurus, to shine in terms of your wealth and finances. Moving on to the Connolly Tarot deck, we have the Lovers in reverse. So this is a Gemini energy that we are talking about here that is in reverse. So we are talking about self-expression, we're talking about unity, we're talking about connection, we're talking about ideas, we're talking about communication, and this block in terms of communicating and expressing to get to the outcome that you want. 6 of Swords, issues with planning, issues with getting everything set into motion that you want to accomplish here. This next card we have in reverse is the Strength card. So we are not fully investing ourselves in. And remember that with this Mars being in your 12th house, that it is a big time to look at what are the blocks, what are the frustrations that are stopping you from continuing to move along this path so that you can have the joy and the happiness and the abundance that you are looking for in your life, Taurus. Next card here, we talked about how this is a time for you to do some deep introspection, to look and see what are these repressed feelings, these blocks, these frustrations that are stopping you from progressing forward, from taking action in your life, because with Mars being in your 12th house of Aries, which is normally this house of your subconscious, it is a big time to not take your time and to slowly move forward in the Taurus way, but really to act on your desires quickly of what you want to experience. And so what are these blocks and frustrations that are slowing you down, that are stopping you? Big time for relaxing, for looking within, for taking that time for deep introspection to figure out what are the worries, what are the stresses, what are the fears, what are the blocks that are going on here, Taurus. Next card we have here is the King of Swords. Are you afraid to master yourself? And there is something big to say here, Taurus, where you've gone through a lot of experiences here of really working on bettering and improving yourself, especially with Neptune sitting up in your 11th house. And so it is a time of really looking at all of the work that you've done to get to where you are, and to ask yourself the question of whether you are going to acknowledge this self-mastery that you have done and to apply it into your life. Last two cards here are dealing with this increase, this happiness, this joy that you can experience, Taurus. First card here we have is Temperance. And the next card, Ace of Wands. Strong Sagittarius energy coming in here, where there is a lot of luck, a lot of fortune, a lot of abundance, a lot that you can gain here, bringing your life into balance and harmony through this new beginning, through this new opportunity, through this new experience. And so it is a big time for you, Taurus, to really look at what are these new experiences and opportunities that you are rejecting, that you are denying, that you are not allowing yourself to enter into, to bring things back into harmony and alignment, and to put yourself in alignment with the universe, where you are allowing this flow, this natural flow. And there's always something, if you look at the Temperance card, where this woman is pouring the water from one cup to the other, this natural balance, this natural flow of energy. Where are you allowing this abundance to flow into your life fully? So big time for you, Taurus, really to allow yourself to experience this finance, this abundance, this increase in your life. And that was your horoscope for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising for June 2020. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And I want to thank you all once again so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.